Welcome to Movie Caps. Today I will show you a comedy, crime, action film from 2014 titled 22 Jump Street. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A pair of best friends, Schmidt and Jenko, are on a rooftop parking lot. They receive a message about an illegal deal going down in the Metro Harbor. After their last successful undercover operation, they are back on the street. After arming themselves and playing around, they arrive at the port. There they spot Ghost, the biggest trafficker of illegal goods in Metro City, who has teamed up with the Mexican cartel. Schmidt informs Jenko that they will have to improvise, which Jenko is terrified of. He falls into character. Schmidt introduces himself to the Wolverine-looking guy while telling some BS story about why they are there. He asks why his partner is not talking, so he introduces himself as well.
My name is Jeff.
Schmidt asks Jenko to tell the group a story about how he knows them, going into deep details. Jenko hates his partner at this moment. The group is clearly not amused. Ghost approaches them like he's onto them, but his intention is for them to check the merchandise and shut up. They still do not know what the goods are. When they open the container, an octopus pounces on Schmidt. Ghost is smuggling exotic animals. They manage to throw the octopus off, but in the midst of the confusion they lose the accent. The group realizes they are cops and decide to take them out. Ghost gets in the truck and the Wolverine starts driving. He runs over their car and this infuriates Jenko, so they climb on top of the container, Schmidt quickly messing up and falling over. Like a Terminator, Jenko takes the horn and starts pounding on the windshield. Schmidt eventually manages to climb up, but quickly collides with a steel beam. He and Jenko are left hanging. In the department, they are scolded by their boss for letting Ghost get away. They are transferred back to the Jump Street department. The Koreans have bought back their church, so this time they are at 22 Jump Street, an even bigger church. Dixon, their captain, has an office that looks like a big ice cube. They are given a new mission at MC State College, a new drug with God knows what, called Wi-Fi, short for work hard, yes, play hard, yes, is circulating the campus. A girl has overdosed on it and their job is to infiltrate the dealer and find the supplier. They are given a photo as a clue. The duo arrive at their dorm and set up everything necessary to look like they are fresh out of high school. The neighbors across are twins, and the duo also introduce themselves as brothers, but the neighbors only laugh at this fact. In Psychology 101, Schmidt tries to get a tip from a fellow student about where he might find some Wi-Fi. The student quickly calls him out for being a narc and even jokes that he still wears his badge, which Schmidt does check, proving student's point. Jenko also fails to get information from some football jocks due to his stupidity. Later at the improv show, Schmidt points out a girl he likes from one of his classes to Jenko. He encourages him to approach her, which he does, awkwardly. He asks her about the overdose by Wi-Fi that happened on campus, and that he's writing a slam poem in her honor. When the performer asks if anyone has anything else to perform, the girl points to Schmidt so he can recite his poem. Jenko is laughing his ass off. Schmidt says it's a work in progress while everyone stares at him blankly. He starts spitting out words at random and mimicking the gestures of the sentences. Somehow it's amazing how bad it is, but people somehow sympathize and give him applause. Later, as they walk to their room, Schmidt confesses that he has no leads. Jenko, on the other hand, says that he heard that you can get Wi-Fi anywhere on campus 24/7. Yes, they meant the internet. So with no leads, they visit a supplier they busted earlier. They inquire how they can get any leads in college when no one opens up to them because they look like narcs and college kids are not as dumb as high schoolers. After imitating Schmidt's speeches, he points out that the clue is in the picture. The dealer has a tattoo of a bazooka. They visit a tattoo salon and the artist points out that it's a football player and Jenko has an idea who it might be. They infiltrate the football team's practice as players and their dumb finds someone even dumber. Jenko befriends Zook. In the middle of the game, Zook calls Jenko his brother and praises his play. Schmidt quickly becomes jealous that Jenko has made a new friend. Zook invites Jenko to a frat party and tells Schmidt he can tag along. When they get ready, Schmidt tells him to lose the puka, but at the party Zook has the same one. Jenko and him are on the same wavelength, even Rooster likes his style, Schmidt's not so much. Schmidt feels like an outsider at the party. He manages to talk to Rooster asking about his body art, but while shaking his hand, he feels up his sleeve, making the encounter strange. Schmidt goes back to Jenko, who leaves him hanging. Zook tells them to check out the view from the roof. With some parkour, two jocks make it with no problem, while Schmidt struggles and decides to go home. On the way there, he bumps into Maya, the girl from the improv show. They hit it off right away and talk about their subjects of study and the artwork in front of them that resembles testicles. Maya invites him to come hang out at the art building, and he agrees. While Jenko gets wasted with his new best buddy, Schmidt indulges in art with Maya. After a while, Jenko is on the football field with Zook and Rooster. When he takes off his shirt, Jenko notices his tattoo and realizes that Rooster is not their guy. When Rooster knocks himself out, Zook admits that he has never met anyone like Jenko and he believes they are soulmates. He asks Jenko to join the football team and he happily agrees. That's when he notices Zook's tattoo, Bazooka, which rhymes with his name. He's the dealer. Schmidt wakes up with Maya after an extensive night's sleep. Maya's roommate, Mercedes, has been waiting for them, so she can express her dissatisfaction with the noises coming from Maya's side of the room. She says it's all fun and games, but why is there a 40-year-old lying next to you? She keeps on bantering him as if he's experienced war and is the loudest climaxer she's ever heard. After the awkward pleasantries, Maya apologizes on Mercedes' behalf. She's been through a lot, as her roommate was the girl who overdosed. Schmidt and Jenko present their findings to Dixon. Jenko withholds information about Zook's tattoo. Somehow Schmidt manages to mention that he got laid last night and how good it was. Dixon is happy for him and even gives him a high five. Later in the dorm, Schmidt asks Jenko why he was so weird about the tattoo in the hideout. He mentions that Zook has the tattoo and they start arguing, with Jenko still defending Zook. The neighboring twins come into their room and tell them to calm down and hold off on the crunchy cheese. There's Wi-Fi in them. They made a batch for the whole dorm and Schmidt already ate 6 of them. They mention that they are going to be very focused for the next 4 hours and after that they will have a hard trip. The duo gets into the zone and decide to infiltrate Zook's frat house while they elect their new members. Schmidt gets to the roof on a wire rope while Jenko does parkour. They manage to install the cameras and escape unnoticed. Just as they are about to enter the dorm, they are kidnapped by Zook and his squad. In the trunk, they start tripping, with Schmidt having a bad trip and Jenko enjoying himself. They are dragged out of the trunk at gunpoint, and as Schmidt begs for his life, Zook and Rooster splash them with vodka. It's their frat invite. Jenko masters all the tasks and Schmidt, not really. When the pigs are brought out, Schmidt bails. Outside, Schmidt admits he's not enjoying this and Jenko suggests investigating different people, which crushes Schmidt. A few days later, while Jenko is working out, Schmidt texts him, and gets ignored. Schmidt sees all this and sulks because he misses his best friend. The next day Schmidt's parents come to visit. It's parents' weekend. He quickly introduces them to Maya and she says that her parents are here too. To Schmidt's surprise, her father is Captain Dixon. When he asks how she knows him, she says they are dating. His parents suggest they sit together, which will be fun. With a murderous look on his face, Dixon does not take his eyes off Schmidt. To calm his nerves, Dixon goes to get some snacks. When he realizes they are being rationed, he snaps and starts trashing the food table. While Jenko is hanging out with Zook, he finds Wi-Fi in his bag. At the dorm, Maya is not sure what her father's problem is with Schmidt. She calls him a perfectly good guy, honest and nice. Meanwhile Dixon sends him messages. They ignore it and talk for a long time until 8 a.m. Maya rushes to class and Mercedes was there all night listening to everything. She jokes that Schmidt has 99 problems, but being young ain't one. From talking to Mercedes, Schmidt learns that the girl who overdosed often visited a therapist on campus, so that's his lead and their next stop. They sneak into the cabinet and Schmidt asks Jenko to guard the door while he goes through the files. Jenko fails and they are caught in the act. They play it off as having relationship problems, in the sense that they are homosexual, and they have come to a meeting with the therapist. They use this session to talk about their problems. For example, Schmidt says that Jenko has become friends with Zook and pays no attention to him. Jenko accuses him of being clingy. During the session, Schmidt comes to the realization, what if the girl had not bought Wi-Fi, but was the dealer? They meet in Dixon's office, Schmidt putting on a Kevlar. When the captain turns over a picture, Jenko quickly realizes that Schmidt is in a relationship with his daughter and makes fun of it, which he shouts to the entire hideout. In retaliation, Dixon tases Schmidt in the balls. Dixon tells them to change their strategy and find the supplier. As they walk out, Schmidt apologizes to Jenko for suspecting Zook because he's not their guy. They decide to first rummage through the overdosed girl's room and they find a book with the pages cut out. They realize that the supplier puts Wi-Fi in the books and the dealers check them out from the library. That's their next stop, but Jenko gets a call from Zook about the game that's about to start, and he leaves Schmidt to handle it alone. In the library, Schmidt notices Ghost, the trafficker of illegal goods. He sends a message to Jenko, who reads it at the game and decides to come help him out. They meet and are quickly discovered. They pretend to be busy at first, but it does not work and Jenko headbutts one of them. He tells Ghost that he and his gang are under arrest, But since they don't have guns, that doesn't go well either, so they make a run for it, with Jenko jumping down like Spider-Man while Schmidt takes the stairs. They get into a helmet machine and Ghost and his crew follow them in a jeep. Eventually they manage to get to the football field and blow up their helmet machine, losing Ghost in the process. Schmidt gets approached by the security and quickly reveals he is undercover and leaves Jenko behind, so he can pursue his dream of being a football player with Zook. Schmidt moves out of the dorm and Maya is very disappointed that Schmidt lied to her. Jenko is still at the university with his new best friend Zook, while Schmidt goes back to his old duties as a park ranger. At lunch Schmidt sees the news about the case. The campus therapist has been arrested as the perpetrator. The case is closed. All Jenko and Zook do is work out and Jenko is kind of sick of it. He tries activities that were fun with Schmidt, but it just does not feel right. The two are miserable and miss each other. Sometime later they meet in a park and both lie that they are doing better than ever. They also agree that the police caught the wrong man. They agree to do a job for old time's sake, and their source says Wi-Fi showed up in Mexico, so they head there. They get ready and visit the beach party, where they find that Wi-Fi is being distributed. They follow the money trail and it leads them to Mercedes. She's at a club with Ghost, who appears to be her father, and has an ingenious business plan to take over all the campuses with her Wi-Fi. The duo storm the place and Mercedes tries to act surprised, but she already knew Schmidt was a cop. They look too old to be in college. Guns are drawn, but the duo have backup, the entire Jump Street crew. A shootout ensues, with Ghost making off with the money and Dixon in pursuit. Maya is there too. Mercedes shoots Dixon in the foot and uses him as an escape hostage. Schmidt gets a Lambo and Jenko goes after Ghost. Schmidt catches up to Mercedes, who is now on foot, and leaves Dixon hanging. Meanwhile, Jenko has caught up with Ghost and is fighting off his goons. With the help of a random girl, he overpowers them and makes out with her. Schmidt has caught up with Mercedes, but she just takes him hostage. When Dixon is there to back him up, he wants to take the shot, but decides against it and Maya knocks her out from behind. Jenko and Schmidt climb the stairs to catch up with Ghost. At the top, Schmidt notices one of Ghost's men trying to take a shot and jumps to cover Jenko, but is unsuccessful. Jenko takes out Wolverine and jumps on the chopper and Schmidt decides to overcome his fear and take the leap as well. They fly over the beach, with Schmidt holding Jenko as he tries to find the grenade Schmidt has stashed in his shorts. They fall off just as he throws the grenade and says something cool. The chopper blows up. As they get out of the water, everyone cheers for them and they confess their feelings of missing each other and make up. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.